Guys, check this out. It's not every day that you get a campsite like this. This is awesome. And we're not even supposed to be here. Oh, don't pay attention to that. Well, we're here at our 15th stop on this family circle camping trip that we keep mentioning every video because it just keeps on going. And Christy done good on this one. This is the D&W Lake Camping and RV Resort or something like that. And it's in the middle of, where are we at? We're in Champaign, Illinois. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but right here at the water's edge are some carp that are absolutely humongous in this pond. Oh, he's swimming away from me now. But look at that. There were 3 of them there. Oh, there's another one. I think they're just trying to find the shade. And we just happened upon this place. There's 4 of them now. Look at that. I can probably see them through my sunglasses a little bit better than you can see them on the camera, so that kind of sucks. Well, this is our only stop in Illinois, and after this, we're gonna be in Iowa. Guys, we're only 2 stops away from being in Iowa where Christy's family is, so we're getting pretty excited to see them. Check out how huge this lake is. I mean, it just keeps going, and it's right outside the camper. I don't think we've ever had such a nice campsite, and I think we finally found a campground that's not set up for just permanent and long-term stays, because there's been a lot of people rolling in and out of here since we got here yesterday. See, there's somebody leaving right now. Well, yesterday we were in Hillsboro, Indiana, and we were supposed to go to a campground in East Peoria, Illinois. However, there was a snafu, so Christy had to do some quick finding of a new campsite, and I think she did really, really good this time. This is a nice place. I think I've said that 30 times already. But there's a view of the lake from this end all the way down. The dock is right down there. That's where people have been fishing. I think they've been catching bass too. Eat your heart out, Gnu guy. What is that right there? Looks like a snake. I was walking along this lake yesterday. I couldn't believe how deep this sucker is. There was a couple of fish that were right there at the bank, and they were staring at me. I think they wanted fed. Kind of reminded me of Evan Almighty whenever he sat down on that couch in the congressman's office, and all those fish that were in the fish tank behind him just swarmed him. It was pretty funny. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that's too bad, because it was hilarious. We only drove about 60 miles or so yesterday to get here, so it was a short drive, but it was actually shorter than you think, because we left our last spot at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and we got here around 11:30. Plus, we stopped at Love's about halfway there. We filled our truck with diesel, and then we weighed the truck and camper. That took at least 30 minutes. Now, how'd we do that? How do you drive 60 miles, spend a half hour at a gas station, and still only drive 30 minutes? Oh, did I mention that we changed time zones? Yeah, we went from the Eastern time zone to the Central time zone. So now we're in the time zone that I was in. There's turtles in here too, and that one just dove down. I think we might be finally getting the hang of this camping thing, and hopefully all those camping disasters are behind us, like the flat tire, the slide issue, and all that stuff. Let's hope. Yeah, we've been camping long enough to know that that ain't the case. There's always a camping disaster waiting for you right around the corner. But like my dad always said, those types of incidents make things memorable. And we want this trip to be memorable, but we just want to have a working camper at the end of it. Hey look, somebody else is leaving and they're driving right in front of our camper right now. So I mentioned that we went to Love's yesterday and we weighed our camper in our truck. Now, have you guys ever done that? Now, the only way to get a true measurement or a true weight on your camper and your truck and all the axles and things like that is to go to one of these cat scales that's at one of these truck stops here in the US. Now, I know they're for the truckers, but the rumor is that the RVers are welcome to use them too. Now, JJ's Lifted Horizons, he might have something else to say about that. Can you tell me, are we welcome at those things? Because I've seen some RVs go through there. But anyway, we weighed our truck and camper yesterday. We found out that apparently our camper is almost right there at the top weight that it's allowed to be at the gross vehicle weight rating. And I think I know what the culprit is. See, ever since we left this trip, Christy's been collecting rocks for our neighbor. And I think it's the rocks that's to blame. She says it's the drones, but you know what? Those drones only weigh less than 250 grams each, so I don't think she can say that about her rocks. I still think it's the rocks. I wonder if she'd want one of these rocks. So what is there to do here in Champaign, Illinois? I have absolutely no idea, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find out soon, because when I get back to the camper, Chrissy's gonna have some plans for us. Apparently, about an hour south of here, there's this drive-through zoo. Have you guys ever heard of such a thing? It's like an African safari. I guess you drive your car through this exhibit, and all these wild animals are just kind of running free, running loose. I mean, they got camels, they got zebra, they got emus or ostrich, they got all kinds of things. And they tell you that you got to keep your windows up because they don't want these wild animals to get in your car. I think I would listen to that advice. I think they even have hyenas, and being from West Virginia, yeah, we're used to those animals. Well, we ran into a problem. So today's Tuesday. We're here today, tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're leaving Thursday morning. Christy found on their website that they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I guess that's out. But you know what? At this campground, there's a bunch of birds that could have come from Africa. Oh, look, there's one right there. One just flew by, but there's one right over there in the water. I think it's a duck. What? They could be from Africa. Well, we also found the world's largest jigsaw puzzle here in Champaign, Illinois. And then we found out that that was last year in 2024, and now it's gone. So, 0 for 2. But there is a really good chance that we might go to Casey, Illinois, which is a town, I guess it's about an hour south of here, give or take. And they hold a bunch of world's largest records. And that's kind of one of the themes that we've been looking at, I guess, since we've started this trip. We like to go to the world's largest stuff. They've got like the world's largest rocking chair, barbershop pole. Christy's in the world's largest bird cage, just a swinging. Teeter-totter. I don't even know what else. Oh, and lastly, wind chimes. You guys want to see the world's largest wind chime? Me neither. That's not annoying at all. But I guess who needs an African safari when you have that, right? I want to walk you guys down there to the fishing dock so you can check it out real quick. Oh, there goes another one of those African birds. And we're going to see if there's any fish down there waiting to be caught by these anglers. I think we're going to have a good time while we're here. I mean, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning right now, and we've got all day today and all day tomorrow to explore. And for some reason to me, it seems later. I'm not really too sure about this layout, but this is the campground over here on this side. Well, over here, this is a road that goes pretty much around the entire perimeter of the campground. Well, over here is a farm. And Christy said that that's beans, and she's a farmer, so I would trust what she says. But it seems like it just goes on forever. I don't know if this is part of the campground or not, but I don't want to go over there and find out that I'm trespassing. Yeah, we're in the middle of farm country, and Christy feels right at home. There's a bunch of geese around here. There's one goose right there. But over here is a big gaggle of geese. I think it's a gaggle is what it's called. That was a duck. Did you guys hear it quack? Well, anyway, my dad used to have a joke, and he used to say this. He used to say, "Why is a goose?" Now, if you guys can come up with the answer to that and leave it in the comments, I'll give you a thumbs up. But I'm pretty sure that ain't nobody gonna get the answer to that. Maybe next video, I'll reveal what the answer is. Why is a goose? It's a head scratcher. Well guys, recently we got a complaint in one of our videos, and unfortunately, it's another example of a comment that I can't relocate for some reason. I responded to it, but I just can't relocate it. It's becoming a more common theme lately. I guess I'm just unorganized. Anyway, his complaint was that we were going to these different campgrounds, and I was sitting at the camper talking about the campground in the area rather than walking around and showing you guys the area. So, hope this is better. All right, well, let's look over here on the edge of this dock and see all these little fish in the pond here. All these little guys that are here, they just want fed. And some of them are staring at me. Well, the owner's mowing again, so I'm gonna go back to the camper and we're gonna get this test started. Now, I haven't even told you what this test is about, but I can tell you this, I think you're gonna enjoy it. At least you enjoyed it last time we did it. I have a feeling he's gonna be mowing all day, so this test might be delayed until tomorrow. Do you think he knows I'm following him? Look at this, guys. I'm not even making you wait through the setup process. I got everything all set up here. I don't have anything turned on, but I got it set up. That's progress, right? Now, as you can tell, it's a little bit later in the evening because he mowed for hours. And once he was finished, it was about, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was just way too hot. Check out these temperatures since we've been here. Yeah, I don't think you would want to come out here and fly in the middle of the afternoon either. Okay, so I know the burning question is what is today's video all about? And why is it titled the way that it's titled? Well, like I said before, it's clickbait. So you're welcome. I'm just kidding. It's actually a pretty legitimate title if you look into the logged out restrictions that we've got with the DJI the DJI RC2 and the Mini 4 Pro. Anyway, guys, we're hoping to put to bed a controversy that we stirred up about, I don't know, 6 months or so ago when I tried to fly, or actually when DJI logged me out of my controller on my RC2, and then when I turned the controller back on, I had to log back in, and as soon as I logged in, the controller installed an update for both the Fly app and for the drone for the firmware. Something that I didn't install, something I didn't select, it just automatically installed it. So that's actually what started this whole debate, I guess, of are there restrictions when you fly when you're logged out of your RC2 controller or your DJI Fly app account? Well, we all know the answer to that's yes. Is it just me, or can you guys hear these birds? They've got an attitude problem. They're right up in that tree, right here. Here, I'll show you. They're up in this tree right here. I know there's probably a nest or 2 or 10, because these are the birds that woke us up this morning, and they haven't stopped chirping all day long. I'm concerned for Dwight's safety. They might attack him. Anyway, guys, although today's test does have to do with the limitations on the height and distance, it also has to do with a question that was raised a while ago, and we did a test on this too. Somebody had mentioned a long time ago that if you're logged out of the DJI Fly app, it will limit you to 3 flights, and then after that your drone is grounded. So we did a test on that about 2 months ago. Matter of fact, it aired yesterday, as I remember. Now, as you remember, it was like 2 months ago. But during that video, we got some comments saying that, hey, there might be a way that you screwed this test up. And I was really surprised, because I don't ever screw tests up. I normally get them right the first time, don't I? But anyway, we got 5 comments. I want to go to my phone here so I can read these 5 comments. So the first comment that we got was from Under the Drone 2735. He said, pretty sure you need to turn off the controller and drone for the restrictions to kick in. So what I did was I didn't turn the drone and controller off between flights. I just landed the drone, launched the drone, took off, came back, landed the drone, took off. And so I did that 3 flights. And then on the 4th flight, I was still able to fly. So I thought in my head that, no, that restriction is false, and we busted the myth. Well, Under the Drone 2735 isn't the only one that brought that up. We got another comment from Trammy 1961. He said, did you try the test again by powering down the drone between flights? No. And then we got another comment from William Labs. At the very end, he said, I might try the test again, but shut off the drone and controller between flights. And then we got another comment, and these comments are so fresh, I haven't even responded to these yet, as far as the last video that was released day before yesterday is concerned. So we got a comment from Frank Hauser. He says, that was supposed to say forms, not formats. I'm not sure if it would have been, he said, I'm not sure if it would have, let me try this one more time. Got a comment from Frank Hauser 3355. He said, I'm not sure if it would have to be turned off between flights to count or not. And then finally we got a comment from Howard ZHAO 4685, and he said, let me read this. He said, from my experiences, the restrictions are only when you pair a new controller and without binding the controller to your account. You can then only fly 5 times before the controller will be disabled until you properly are binded to the account. Howard is here saying 5 times, so we're going to have to do this with 5 flights and see if we're able to fly on the 6th one, just to make it legitimate, because I do remember the comment from months ago, it either said 3 or 5, and I was thinking that it said 3. Well, Howard seems to think that it is 5. So we're going to do this test today. We're going to do 5 flights, and in between flights, we're going to shut the drone and the controller off and reboot. I don't know if it's necessary to reboot the controller, because I'm going to have 5 separate screen recordings to sync up to the video, so that might make it a little bit more difficult. But guys, I'm doing this for science. I'm doing this for you. So I'm willing to do that. All right, let's do this. Let me get the controller turned on here so we can get Dwight started. If you guys don't know, this is Martha. She's our controller with the voice. So I'm going to turn her on here. And then I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to turn Dwight on. I don't know if you guys can even see Dwight over here on his landing pad. But I'll get Dwight turned on. Hey, I got it on the first try that time. Normally I got to hit that button like 8 times to get it turned on. All right, Dwight's got himself turned on there. The controller is still booting up. You guys can see that. Oh, it sounds like the controller just came on. Well, maybe not. It's still a black screen. Okay, so we got our screen recording up and going. Move that ticker out of the way. We don't have any satellites, but I need to talk to Dwight so I can sync up this flight. Actually, I need to get you guys so you can see Dwight, don't I? Let me readjust the camera here. Hey, the home point's been updated. Yay. Hey guys, look, there's a groundhog. That thing's fat too. I bet Dwight scares the crap out of him here in a minute. All right, Dwight, I'm looking for you to be successful on this test so we can mark this off and we don't ever have to address it again. I'm tired of logging off the Fly app to try to get you to mess up. All right, so now we're connected to Wi-Fi, and I'm gonna go, I gotta hit that home button there, right there. And I gotta go to Profile, Settings, and then I'm gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm gonna hit Log Out and Confirm. Confirm. All right, so we are now officially logged out of the Fly app yet again. I don't know when I'm ever gonna learn my lesson that logging out of the Fly app is a good idea, because it's not really a good idea, guys. All right, let's go back to the home screen here, and it says account not logged in, so we're confirmed that we're logged out. I'm gonna go to the three dots and show you guys that we're using Dwight, and we're on the Fly app version 1.17.1, and all of the aircraft firmware and RC firmware are current, so we're up to date on all that. Okay, so now I've got to reboot Dwight in order to get that limitations kicked in. I do remember that. So I got to shut him down and turn him back on. So when I shut him down, you'll see the screen turn gray or white or black or something. And then once it's grayed out like that, I know that Dwight has been turned off, and I can turn him back on. All right, so it says preparing to take off. No, you're not. You're just sitting there. All right, the home point's been updated. It says account not logged in. So I'm going to pull the sticks together, get Dwight up in the air here. I'm just going to let him sit there and hover for just a second so you guys can see him in the screen. But does that not look like a solid drone to you? Dwight has always been a solid drone, no matter if he's logged in or not. All right, so I'm just going to raise up to the height limit, which is going to be like 96 feet. And I'm afraid these birds are going to try to attack him. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. So we're up to the max height, so we're just going to fly straight out here. We fly to the right so I can stay away from the campers that are over there. It's only going to be like 150 feet. Yep. And we're at the max distance. So I'm just going to hit return to home. And this is going to count as flight number 1. So the question is after flight 5, are we still going to be able to launch this drone, or are we going to be grounded? I really hope that we're not grounded. You guys see that trucking company that Dwight's flying towards? The owner of this campground said that that's a new company and they do a lot of business over there. I don't know if that interests you or not, if you need some trucking business, but they're there. You guys can look in the notes or in the description. Maybe I'll put a link for it. Probably not. All right, so he's on his way down. He looks like he's right in the middle of that pad, and he's looking good. So let's go here to the GoPro, and we'll just watch Dwight land right in the dead center of that pad, because man, on the screen, he's right in the middle of it. All right, Dwight, this is probably the best landing that I've ever seen you do. All right, you gonna stay within that circle, or are you gonna veer to the right? No, he's veering to the right. Oh man, he's got 2 of the 4 legs on the pad. I'd say that's close enough for government work anyway. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shut off the screen recording, and I'm gonna turn off the controller. So we're gonna reboot this entire system, and then I'm gonna turn off Dwight as well. And I gotta do this after every flight, so I may or may not record this every time. I probably won't, because this can get kind of boring. I've got a black screen. Turn the controller back on. I'll turn Dwight back on. Yeah, there's that 1 out of 10 chance of me getting that button right. All right, so we got Dwight turned on here. We just have to wait for the controller to boot up so I can get a screen recording going, and then we'll go for flight number 2. All right, guys, we got screen recording number 2 up here, and we've got 27 satellites just like that. Now, I didn't hear her say that the home point's been updated, but the controller may have actually been booting up still whenever she thought that. She may have just not been able to say it. All right, so we got Dwight on, we got the controller on, account's been logged out. Pull the sticks together. I'm just going to go straight up in the air 23 feet, and we'll see if he can get his. See, I went up 42 feet. I just went up too high again. I do that all the time. But I think that we've let him sit there long enough to get his precision landing. I'm just going to raise all the way up to the max height and just fly straight forward. There's another vehicle that's driving by. So we're almost out to the max distance, and there we are. I'm going to hit return to home again, and I'm just going to do this 5 times. Like I said, I've already done it twice. Feels like I'm just redoing the same test over and over again. But again, that's the point of this whole test, right? All right, so he's pretty much right over top of us. Did you guys see his green line turn? That was kind of strange. So we're going to see if he's going to, again, land on this pad the way that he did last time, because he did pretty good last time. I was impressed. So he's right above us. He looks like he's far to the left there. He's off the pad just a little bit, but he's working his way back to the right. Let's go here to the GoPro and see where he's at. I wonder if he gets camera shy when I put the GoPro on him, because maybe he feels that I'm encroaching on his spot and he's trying to not hit something, because it does show the obstacle avoidance detector is going off on the back of him. And that was a really good landing. 2 down, 3 to go. All right, shut off the screen recording. Turn off the controller. Turn off Dwight. I feel like I'm in a washing machine just going around and around and around. All right, turn the controller back on. Turn Dwight back on. And we wait. All right, we got screen recording number 3 up. I'm gonna move that again out of the way. We've got 26 satellites again instantaneously. It says account not logged in, and Dwight is on. So let's pinch the sticks together and go up for flight number 3. I'm just gonna go up again like I did last time, just straight up to 23 feet or 42 feet or whatever it is. I'm gonna turn here to the right. I was getting a little bit close to the campers on the left there last time. All right, so I'm just gonna raise all the way up here to 97 feet or 96 feet, and we'll start to fly out, and we'll get to our max distance as quickly as we can. See how fast that is? I think too, another thing that we didn't talk about, I think that his speed is affected by this limitation too. I think there's a speed limitation because we're in normal mode. Yeah, we're in normal mode here, and I was only going 10 miles an hour. So, all right, let's hit return to home, and we'll watch him land one more time, or, well, we got 3 more times to do. So we'll watch him land for the 3rd time in the middle of that pad, because that's what he does. He's good at that. Watch this green line and see if his destination, or see if his path changes. Nope, this time it looked like it was good. It looks like that company does do a lot of business over there, doesn't it? All right, he's right over top of us, but man, he's way off of that pad. But he's honing himself in. He needs to come to the right just a little bit more. Come on, Dwight, you need to go to the right, buddy. All right, he's halfway on the, oh, there we go. Now he's all the way on the pad. All right, GoPro time. Let's see what he can do. I'm just gonna stand back a little ways and see if that might help not affect him a little bit less. Does that make any sense? The obstacle, well, I guess he might be picking up the chair to his right there. That might be what the obstacle that he's talking about, or that he's yelling about. All right, perfectly in the middle of the pad. We definitely know that being logged out doesn't affect his precision landing, because that's 3 for 3. All right, we'll stop the screen recording. Turn off the controller. Turn off Dwight. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn the controller back on. We'll turn Dwight back on. And this is going to be the 4th flight, guys. So as soon as this screen comes back up, we'll take off and go out for the 4th flight so we can get this test done, because I know you guys are probably tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. I know I would be. Okay, so we got screen recording number 4 up right here. And we got 27 satellites this time. We got an extra satellite. Oh, now we're down to 26, so we're back to normal. Account not logged in. We got Dwight turned on. He's ready to go. Pull the sticks together. Go back up to 27 feet. Let him get his precision landing. See, I don't know, for some reason, I just can't seem to stop at 23 feet anymore. I have to go up way, way high. All right, so we've been there long enough. Did you see that bird fly right in front of him? I told you these birds don't like him. Let's just fly straight out, because we got our max height restriction is in play. Oh, look at that. He was going 20 miles an hour briefly, so maybe the speed isn't limited. So we got our distance limited, we got our height limit, but that was pretty cool to see him going 20 miles an hour, wasn't it? All right, return to home. One more time after this, and then after that, we should have some sort of grounded drone, which I say that's the hope because I want to prove that this is true, but I don't want it to happen because I think it might be a little bit overreach. All right, he's almost right. Yeah, he's right above us now. And let me get the GoPro here so we can get ready to capture him land on the landing pad another time, four times in a row. He's way off this time. He's at least a foot off. Are you gonna work your way back onto the pad, Dwight? You need to. Yeah, you are. That's cool. Look at that. He's right in the middle of the pad again. This is the 4th time in a row while he's been logged out that he's going to land directly in the middle of this pad. Well, I guess the 2nd time he was kind of off to the right, but it was close enough to count. I think it was pretty good. All right, so this is the fourth time, fourth landing a success, fourth time with no problem. One last time, we'll stop the screen recording. Whoops. I don't know what just happened there. Hopefully the screen recordings are saving. I'm gonna turn the drone off, or the controller off. I almost got confused there. Then I'm gonna turn the drone off. Count to 10. I just counted to 10 in my head. Turn the controller back on. And we'll turn Dwight back on. All that stuff is very easy. It's something that even Roberts can do. All right, so this is the fifth and final flight, because the next one's gonna be a non-flight. I think the next one we're gonna be grounded. I hope we're not, but you never know. All right, we got the screen recording number 5 up for the 5th flight. 26 satellites, account not logged in. Dwight's sitting there ready to go. Pinch the sticks together and we'll get him to hover. I'm gonna just go up 23 feet. I'm gonna see if I can actually, yeah, I did that almost exactly. Now I'm at 24 feet. I got excited. All right, we're gonna go up now to the max flight one more time, or max height. And we're just gonna fly straight out to 150 feet. I don't see any birds trying to attack him while he's in the sky, but that one was really close just on the last flight. All right, this could be the very last flight that Dwight has in him, so I think you guys are witnessing history here. I'm gonna hit return to home, and we're gonna get him back on this landing pad one last time and see if we can take off. Ain't this exciting stuff? Okay, so he's well more than halfway back. I didn't look at his speed that time, but he got out there in a hurry, so I'm assuming that he was probably at 20-something miles an hour. All right, so he's right on top of us, and he is, again, way off, but he's honing himself in. And you can see that crosshair in the middle. It just keeps getting closer and closer to that pad. But now it looks like he's off. But he's working his way back in. All right, the GoPro time. One more time, Dwight. You got one more flight in you. If you can power up and you can take off after this next flight, or after you land here, I'm going to be impressed. And I'm going to say that this myth is totally busted. But I can't say that yet. All right, good job. All right, I'm going to stop the screen recording here. And I'm going to power off the controller. This could be the last time that we do this, because it might not come back on. This thing might self-destruct. What do they call that? Self-destroy? Self-destruct. Let me turn off Dwight. And then we'll count to 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me turn the controller back on. The controller just powered back up, so I think we're good there. Is Dwight going to turn back on? All right, Dwight's powered up. So let's see when this screen comes up what it says. I know it's going to continue. It's going to continue to say account not logged in. But is it going to say grounded, or you're fired, or anything like that? All right, we got our screen recording up. It says account not logged in like we thought it was going to. We're down to 24 satellites. This is it, guys. This is going to tell us whether or not we've got a brick for a drone, or whether he's going to continue to fly for another day. Let me go ahead and pull the sticks together here. The drone started, so that's a positive. And she said take off. Oh, there you go. Guess what, guys? Myth busted. Let me put him up in the air as high as he can go, and then we'll put him out as far as he can go. We'll do one more return to home, and then we'll call this test a wrap. We'll have a conclusion. That is cool. So there, I don't know, maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe again, I screwed something up, but I promise you guys, this is the last test that we're gonna do regarding logging Dwight out, okay? So you guys can count on that. Unless something else comes up, then who knows, maybe we'll do it again. Let me hit return to home, and we'll get Dwight home for the last time. And yeah, give him a big old hug. So he's about halfway here already. And well, not quite, but yeah, I got a little bit excited again. I think I'm excited because our drone still works. And all we got to do now is log back in, and we won't have any of these restrictions anymore. Even the height and the distance won't be limited anymore. So here it comes. I'm going to get to the what? Make the landing area safe before landing. I've never heard her say that before. Now let's go to the GoPro and watch him land. We got some spectators with a couple of puppy dogs, so we need to hurry up and get this done so they can get by. Are you gonna get on the pad there, Dwight? She said make the landing pad safe before landing. I've never heard her say that before. That was kind of odd. And this time, he's only halfway on the pad, so halfway good job, Dwight. I guess you did okay. couldn't be more proud of you, buddy. All right, guys, there we have it. Another myth busted on We're the Roberts. And I got all you guys to thank for it because you kept pushing me to make sure that we did everything that we possibly could to make sure that we did the test right. Again, did we screw this up? Probably so, but you know what? We got better results this time. I think we just have more confirmation that maybe DJI isn't out there to get us. They're just out there to maybe protect their company. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. But as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week. God bless.